Facebook, Instagram, not Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. How is everybody doing today? We'll get started here in a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds rather. And I want to talk to you about something that I've been passionate about now for about, I don't even know, maybe 10 years of my life plus. I've been very passionate about the topic that we're going to speak on today. So we'll give people a couple of minutes or a couple of seconds rather to get on here. In the meantime, how do I do this again? We're going to put on this 30-second countdown and then we're really going to get started. Well, hello, it's me. How's everybody doing this evening? If you're joining me live, I want you to go ahead and put your name or just put live in the chat so I can see who's hanging out, because I have a really special message for all of you, a message that I've had in my heart for at least a decade now, and a message that I still adhere to and I think will always adhere to. So thank you for joining me. Like I said, if you are here live with me, just type the word live in the chat so that I can see who I'm hanging out with. This makes me super duper excited. So without further ado, I just want to jump right into the discussion today because I know that you don't have a lot of time. Neither do I. When I was younger, my dad always told me something. He said, Devin, in life, you're going to realize something. And I would always say, what is it, Dad? He would say, as you become 14, 15 years old, you're going to realize that there's going to come a fork in the road. And people are going to go left and some people are going to go right. And I said, Dad, what do you mean? He said, most people are going to go left, about 80%. And they're going to start trying out alcohol and drugs and all of this bad stuff. That's one road that about 80% of kids are going to start taking. They're just going to follow each other, do drugs, drink alcohol, just go out partying, and they're just going to waste these years of their life. And then there's going to be about 15 to 20% of people who go the other direction, where they focus on their schoolwork. They focus on developing themselves. They go the extra mile. And they develop who they are. They sacrifice going out to the club now for success. And I didn't get it at the time, but one of the things that my dad would always used to tell me, he would say, Devin, because I would get really upset. I would see all of my friends going out to parties and hanging out with chicks and doing all of these different things. And I would say, Dad, I want to do that. And he would say, Devin, you can go to all of the parties that you want to go to when you're 40 years old and you have, quote unquote, made it. He said, but there's never going to be another opportunity to excel in what you're doing right now. So he said, you have to make the decision, Devin. Are you going to just enjoy this moment? When I say enjoy, I mean go out and party and drink and smoke. Are you just going to do that? Or are you going to sacrifice something for a lesser nature for that of a higher nature? Because that's what sacrifice is. It's sacrificing, giving up something of lower nature or value in anticipation of gaining something of higher value. There's a mentor of mine, Wes Watson. He says that sacrifice leads to paradise. And at a young age, my dad was teaching me the principle of delayed gratification, of not going out to the club tomorrow because I could do that in 20 years from now. But in 20 years from now, I can't go back to this day and I have all of the effort into growing my business. But here's what I really want to talk about. If you're drinking, if you're smoking, if you're doing all of these different things, what are you doing? What are you doing? What type of example are you setting for people? The way that I look at it is this. If it's not an asset, it's a liability. I'm going to say that again. If it's not an asset, it is a liability. So when I look at alcohol, I look at drugs, I even look at food, and food is I shouldn't have lifted that finger. Food is the weakness that I have, that I'm conquering. All of these things allow our mind to get off of whatever we're actually going through in life. They become our crutch. So whenever I would be super stressed out, like I was about 2 months ago, I remember I went through like a downward spiral where I was at my job and I looked at the calendar and I said, oh my God, I'm going to be so busy. I have no clue how I'm going to be able to grow my business. And it triggered me into almost a depressed state for one of the first times in my life. And as I sat there in the parking lot, I said, well, what am I going to do? My emotions kicked in. Boom. It said, go to Sonic, get a large ice cream with cookie dough, Oreos, hot fudge, and something else in it. And I went and I got the large ice cream, went into the parking lot, sat there and ate it like I was just a disgusting person. Finished the ice cream, went home. I was so exhausted because of all of the carbs and sugars that I had just eaten. Laid down on my couch, didn't even take off my Army uniform, and then I fell asleep for 2 hours and then woke up more tired than before I went to bed. I was eating the ice cream because it was my emotional crutch. It allowed me to escape reality for the time being. But here's the thing, if we want to become all we can be, we cannot do things that allow us to escape the reality of the situation that we're in. The only reason people are drinking is not because it tastes really good. I promise you. This is my perspective on it, at least. There's two reasons why people are drinking. Number one, primarily because everybody else is doing it. And number two, because they're escaping something. If you got to go out on the club on the weekend and you're the guy that has to drink in order to have a good time, that means that you're not happy in who you are. Or if you're the girl that got to take a few shots in order to get lit, that means you're not happy with who you are. I remember going to teen clubs when I was younger, and I would be the only person in there not drinking. And you know what? People are watching you. I would have people come up to me and they would say, where's your drink? I'd say, I don't drink. And they say, you know what, man, I respect that. Because they didn't have the courage to do it themselves, but they recognized someone that did have that courage. Jonathan, what's up, brother? Good to see you. I hope you did your 100 burpees. So anything in my mind that takes up my mental space, my mental clarity, anything that allows me to escape the reality of the situation rather than facing the situation is a vice, is something that I need to control, that I need to take care of. Because guess what? You are not just doing this for you. You might have kids, you might have family, you might have clients, you might have a business, you might have a job that you are representing, and you have to lead by example. Because we only get one shot at this thing called life. So why are you drinking and partying? You ever thought about being alone for a little bit? Being comfortable in your own skin? There was a quote by Wayne Dyer. He said, it's hard to be lonely when you like the person that you're alone with. The phone blowing up. I apologize. So I mention all of this to say, what are the activities that you could be doing that you're currently not doing because maybe you are going out on the weekends all of the time, drinking and partying or doing all of these things? And if you're not, good. But on the other side of it, what are you doing that's moving you in the direction of your goals and your dreams? More importantly, have you identified those goals and dreams for yourself? Because if you haven't, then you're never going to achieve them. So this is my perspective on it. We are not just one-dimensional beings. You can be great at fitness, but if you're in bad shape, I'm not going to listen to you. Because you don't represent the type of person that I want to be. You see these 22s? No, I'm kidding. You see these 17s? I just measured them today. 17 inches. I got little baby arms right now. Oh, I got little baby arms right now. My goal is to be ripped, in great shape, the best shape of my life, to be rich financially, and to really support so many people on their journey of sharing their message with the world. Sacrifice is giving up that of a lower nature for getting that of a higher nature. So hope this was valuable to somebody. Hope you're all doing